Hey guys, it's April 5th and I am just preparing to pot up my tomatoes. Look how wonderful they look. You can always tell when it's time to pot them up when they have their true leaves. Now, every now and then you'll get a little straggler that comes late in the game like this one did, and they don't germinate right away. And they'll just be little tiny spindly things here. So you really can prick them out of the soil when you do mass planting. So it's safe to take something like this and pot it up if you need to, just to get it into a bigger container and have it out of the way. But when you leave something like this in a small cell in these bigger canopies, they can really start to wilt and get leggy. See how this one's a little bit skinny? It's because it's not getting enough light. So I'm going to get all these guys potted up today, as well as my peppers that I've already started. And I'm going to show you a few things that can happen if your day gets away from you and you don't realize that your new little seedlings are getting crowded out very rapidly from these tall canopies, and what to look for before you actually lose one of your plants. Well, we have just had so much going on, I didn't even realize that some of my little peppers here were getting crowded out. And a few of the inside, these were sitting inside like the middle of the trays. Their soil got a little bit dry, but there were some that showed up late with these peppers as well, and they just took a really long time to germinate. And I just didn't see where they were. And then they got crowded out, and you can see they just kind of dried up. But it's okay because I have about 300 shishito peppers in here, so I'm not really worried about that. One of the other things that showed up late was the Casper eggplant took over 3 weeks to germinate. And this was a cell that I had started. Wait a minute, what is this? No, that is not. Oh, that's the Megatron, not a jalapeno. Oh, look at that. They really came along well. I had another little container here with Casper eggplants somewhere. I don't know. They're floating around in here somewhere. There they go, Casper eggplants. The ones that I had started in these little cells, they just took forever to come up, and they just kind of died back. So it's okay. I'm still going to end up with 6 Casper eggplants, but so much going on here. These guys that I started to pot up here, let me show you. Gosh, all of my little annuals need to get potted up. Here goes some of the peppers that I've started potting up, and they look really, really good. So I really regret not getting more of the bootstrap farmer stuff, so I'm resorting back to my little solo cups here, or the hack, which is from Costco. Funny thing though, the Costco hacks are shaped a little bit different, and they don't really fit as well as the solo cups do. I think the solo cups have a square base, so they sit a little bit better in these trays. So with the bootstrap containers, you can get 18, I think 15 or 18 containers inside of one of these 1020s, but you can't get as many solo cups in, because what happens is, I don't know if you just noticed that, they get caught on the lip and they kind of stick up. So they'll be sitting here at an angle, and you don't even realize how much of an angle it's at, but it's just enough for the bottom to be lifted off of the little channels down there. So what happens is, when you're trying to bottom water, they don't take any water up because the little hole that you make on the bottom is sticking up at an angle. So that's something that you want to be careful of. But yeah, these guys all look good. These are California Golden Wonder, the Parks Whoppers peppers, sweet bananas look really good in here. Over here I have some eggplant. So we're well on our way, you guys. Clearly I'm out in the greenhouse. I wanted to show you how well things are coming along. Here's my flat leaf parsley. These little Snapdragon seeds are seeds that I harvested last year. I didn't abuse the seeds, but I totally neglected them. They were out here roasting in the greenhouse. They were in too much bright light. I went ahead and sowed them anyway, and look, they just want to be Snapdragon, so they're coming up. And then I have 2 trays of fox. Oh, that's another Snapdragon there. Clearly I'm addicted to Snapdragons. And I have foxglove. There should be another container of foxglove around here somewhere. Let's see. Up here I have some aster, and down here I have some nigella and some different lettuce. And here's all of my other Snapdragons that will be going outside soon. They look like they need a drink of water. So got some celery coming up, looking good. Yeah, so I like to just take these cups here and I recycle them over and over, so they really do hold up well. Now here's like I said, the solo cups have the square base, and the Costco hack has the round base. So even though the solo cups are round on top, the bottom of the base does sit a little bit better. It's not tremendous. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of fertilizer in here. I'm just doing a little bone meal, a little blood meal, some worm castings, and some slow release vegetable fertilizer in here before I put the pepper or the tomato or whatever into the cup. Now these guys got a little dried out, but today was the day where they needed to be watered. I don't like to overwater them because they do get fungus gnats. And by the way, I had no fungus gnats, and this week I have a million fungus gnats. So you can see that these are ready to come out when you're, look at that there. So yeah, these are screaming to come out. So when they get this root bound, it doesn't matter how much water you give them, they really just want to come out. So let's see. Again, this is the bootstrap farmer cups that I'm dealing with. So look at that there, how beautiful that grew. So I do feel like these seed starting materials from Bootstrap Farmer are really definitely premium, and I really like them. So I'm really happy with the results of this jalapeno pepper. So this guy's going to go into the cup and get topped off. And so bone meal and blood meal are really critical for anything to grow, but you don't want to give any of your, when you sow seeds, you don't want to put fertilizer in with your seeds. But when you pot them up and they're going to be sitting in these cups for probably up to a month, you want to make sure they have some fertilizer because they need food for their canopy to grow. They need food for their fruit to form, and for root health and all of that. So bone meal and blood meal are absolutely critical. The worm castings are really, really good too. And you can even add a crushed Tums to this because calcium is critical, not just for tomatoes, but for peppers as well. And I always keep I just buy these at Costco and I crush these in. Usually I will add them to the tomatoes at this point, and then when they go into the soil in a month, I will crush up a few in each plant as well. Time goes by so quickly when you're out here potting everything up. I mean, before you know it, well, it's been a full day. We've been at it. So I've got a lot of stories about this day. But anyway, you see how, I mean, I didn't try to squeeze any more of these peppers in, but they do go in, the peppers do go into shock when they are in tiny cells and they've become root bound. So I was right on the edge of being in trouble with these guys. A few of them were really, really root bound. I never expected them to grow as rapidly as they did. So the grow lights really made a big difference. As well as the seed starting trays. So anyway, I'm going to get these guys in and give them a big drink, and then I'm going to finish up out here. We have so much going on today. I just had to show you how nice my hair looks today. I just can't get over it. I figured I'd capture the moment while I could. You guys, I have to start a new batch of soil. It has been like a day of it, okay? We had 9,000 pounds of stone delivered this morning. All while, you know, we're building this wall. You may have seen, I'm touch base on it in the Hyacinth video, but I'm also filming a whole entire series about this wall that we're building. I have hair in my mouth. I have soil up my nose. I have soil everywhere. Anyway, what I was going to say was, it's been a week of craziness. We had like, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches of rain this week. So while we were outside digging up those footings for that wall that's going in, the channels, the footings that we had to build filled up with rain. And I mean, it was like the Great Canals of Venice. Like the footings were just full to the top of rain. So we're dealing with that because, like I said, the stone came this morning and we're working to build the wall tomorrow. And then after the stone came and we started to get settled in, we had a 4.8 earthquake this morning. The feeling of it was insanity. Like I heard it coming before I felt it hit, and I could specifically feel it coming from north to south. And at first I could hear the sound. I thought John was upstairs in his office rolling around on his office chair. And then the house started to move, and I thought it was a big truck coming down the street. I thought, what on earth is that? Then the shock wave hit the side of the house. And I thought, that the cabinets were going to fall down. Our poor birds were in, you know, in their room. Their cages were shaking crazy. It was crazy. And then you could hear the earthquake roll, and like it went south. It was crazy. All while, you know, all while I've got all this stuff going on in my mind. I know I have so much more to worry about. There's so much going on in the world. I don't want to go on too much, but it's like the insanity of a day. So here we are. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. I'm just mixing up a fresh batch of giant soil because I still have a few peppers left to get in today because, wow, they were really suffering. So you've got to watch, you guys. My little shishito peppers, look what happened. This is part of learning from failures, okay? So they got caught up in the canopy and they totally dried out. But it's okay because, like I said, I have a whole slew of shishito peppers planted in there. So I'm not worried that I lost one and 2 out of these 6 never even germinated. But you think that you're getting all the water in there, but you're really not. So you have to be careful when you plant these things in these big cells like this. You got to be able to keep a good eye on them. And I always lecture about ventilation and good light and all that stuff. But when you've got all this going on big, you know, racks, and you're trying to manage everything, and there's hot lights on them, they, you know, they crash easy. So that's what one crashed shishito pepper looks like. But I have 3 good ones. These just took their time coming up. They didn't want to germinate very rapidly. They took way longer than everything else. So now I'm trying to catch up, but it's okay because if I really need more shishito peppers, I can always still have time to sow a few pepper seeds now, because now that it's warmer, they actually germinate easier in the warm weather. So, all right, let me get some perlite into my soil and get this done. All right, so I finished with the peppers. I can't even think straight, you guys. It's just, this is the beginning. Just think, okay, it's April 5th. So this time next month, we'll be picking the day. We only have a few weeks left. Now's the time, you guys. Make sure your seedlings are happy and healthy. You're going to get a few failures. You know, it's natural. You're going to get some that dry out because you missed them, or some that just didn't germinate, or some that were trying to germinate but got crowded out from the canopy above them from all the ones that did so well. So I like to use this as a learning tool, and I learn from my lessons. And next year I'm going to make sure that I might have to invest in more shelves, and I'm definitely going to invest in more light. So right now I was just listening. I always like to tell you guys what I'm listening to when I'm in here working. I have like this incredible Barbara Streisand soundtrack, and I just love to listen to this woman sing so close into the side of my ear. All in Love is Fair, You Don't Bring Me Flowers. What an incredible song. I've been married for almost 25 years. Well, I've been with Farmer John for 26 years. Some of these songs really hit home. The Way We Were, My Heart Belongs to Me, Guilty, The Main Event, No More Tears. The list goes on. Evergreen, My Man, What Kind of Fool. I love listening to Barbara Streisand sing with Barry Gibb. It's some of my most favorite music of all time. So hopefully you guys, hopefully you have a little place where you can go, moms especially, you know, people who just need to get away. The blessing of coming into a quiet little place, no matter where that is, whether it's a little corner in your yard, or if you're blessed to have a greenhouse, maybe a place in your basement, maybe a little corner in the kitchen if that's all you've got, or a little bench in your backyard. Heck, you can even sit on your top step out in the backyard if the weather is warm enough, and get yourself a little pot and sow some seeds and get something planted. And for all of you newbies out there, if you haven't got the space or the time to start a garden yet, and you're wondering if it's too late to start something, it's not. It's never too late. I always tell everyone, even if it's just a basil plant, you haven't started it from seed, but you see it at Lowe's or at the supermarket and you want to try something, and if it's in your budget, please go ahead and get yourself something and get it started and pour your love into it. And I promise the rewards are just priceless, and you will fall in love with gardening so much. Just like my hands. I wasn't always a dirty girl. I used to be high fashion. I was corporate. I used to go to work with a suit every day. And now I'm just dirty every day. And I absolutely love it. So anyway, you guys, stay tuned. There's a lot going on. I can't even think straight. It's after 5 o'clock here in New Jersey, Friday evening. Like I said, tomorrow we're building the wall. I'll be potting up tomatoes. Next video, I'll be showing you what that looks like and how that progress is going, and how a lot of my flowers are doing that I've started from seed as well. So anyway, you guys, thanks so much for potting up again with me today, and having a look at true leaves and knowing when to get things out of their little pots and get them into some real soil with some fertilizer so they can grow and be ready to go directly into the ground, because here in New Jersey, it's almost time. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next video.